Welcome to Simple Life Fables, where we explore the profound journeys of ordinary people finding extraordinary wisdom within their daily lives. Deep within the heart of India lay Devpur, a small village where the golden sun kissed the green fields every morning. Here lived a young boy named Rahul, who was known throughout the entire village for a very peculiar and frustrating habit. Rahul was a master of invention, always creating elaborate stories and fake ailments to avoid doing his chores or schoolwork. If the sky was slightly gray, he claimed a storm was coming. If it was sunny, he complained of unbearable heat. His parents were deeply worried, watching their intelligent son waste his potential on endless excuses that led him nowhere but backward. While other children studied or helped their families, Rahul spent his precious hours playing, convinced that tomorrow was the time for work. However, the village school was run by Master G, an elderly teacher whose dedication was as solid as the ancient mountains. Master G had taught 3 generations of villagers, never missing a single day of class regardless of his age or health. The contrast was sharp and painful, an old man giving everything he had versus a young boy giving nothing but excuses. One morning, a terrible monsoon rain lashed the village. Everyone expected the school to close, but Master G arrived on time. Rahul watched in silence, feeling a strange twinge of guilt as he saw the shivering old man prepare for the lesson. A few days later, the inevitable happened. Master G fell terribly ill, his frail body finally succumbing to the harsh weather. Yet even from his sickbed, he refused to stop working, asking for the student notebooks to be brought to his house. When Rahul and his friends visited, they found their teacher grading papers with trembling hands, his face pale, but his spirit unbreakable. Rahul finally gathered the courage to ask, "Master, why do you not rest? You have every valid reason to stop working." The old teacher smiled weakly and beckoned Rahul closer, his eyes suddenly burning with a fierce and serious intensity. He told Rahul a story about his own father, a man who was brilliant but always waited for the perfect moment. His father had dreams of greatness, but he always said tomorrow or one day, pushing his ambitions further into the future. Decades passed, and that perfect moment never arrived. He died with a heart full of heavy regrets and unfulfilled potential. Master G looked deep into Rahul's soul and said, "My boy, excuses are the nails used to build a house of failure." The words struck Rahul like lightning. He realized he was building that very same house, brick by brick, with every excuse. He left the teacher's house in silence, walking under the moonlight, the weight of his wasted time pressing down on his shoulders. The next morning, a notice appeared at school, announcing a prestigious scholarship exam that would take place in exactly 1 month. Usually, Rahul would have ignored it, claiming he had no time to prepare. But today, he stared at the paper with purpose. He went home and did something he had never done before. He cleared his desk, put away his toys, and opened his books. The first night was a brutal battle. His mind whispered for sleep, inventing a dozen reasons why he should start studying tomorrow. He silenced the voice of laziness. When the alarm rang at 4 in the morning, he rose before the sun, ready to work. His parents watched in disbelief from the doorway, seeing their son transform from a boy of excuses into a young man of action. When his friends came calling with cricket bats and laughter, Rahul firmly turned them away, choosing his future over fleeting moments of fun. There were moments of intense frustration when the subject seemed too hard, and the temptation to quit was incredibly strong and seductive. But every time an excuse tried to take root in his mind, he remembered the old teacher and the house of failure. Master G, slowly recovering his strength, walked past Rahul's window one evening and felt a surge of pride warm his old heart. Days turned into weeks. The pile of completed notebooks grew taller, and the calendar pages fell away like autumn leaves in the wind. The night before the exam arrived. Rahul was not afraid or anxious. He was calm, knowing he had given his absolute best. He walked to the examination hall with his head held high, no longer needing to invent stories to hide his lack of effort.
The questions were difficult, but Rahul's pen moved across the paper like a dancer, guided by weeks of relentless hard work. As he handed in his paper, he realized that the victory was not in the result, but in the conquest of himself. 2 weeks later, the results were announced. The entire village gathered, and Rahul felt his heart pounding like a drum in his chest. When the principal announced the third prize winner, a gasp went through the crowd, before turning into a roar of applause for Rahul. His mother wept tears of joy, hugging the boy, who had finally learned that action speaks much louder than any clever excuse. Master G handed him the certificate, his eyes twinkling with pride, knowing that the lesson had been learned for a lifetime. This piece of paper was not just a scholarship. It was proof that he had demolished the house of failure he was building. Rahul never looked back. He carried this discipline through his teenage years and into adulthood, approaching every challenge with the same determination. Years later, the boy who once faked stomach aches to avoid school returned to the classroom. But this time, standing at the front, Rahul became a teacher, just like his mentor Master G, dedicated to shaping young minds and guiding them away from the path of laziness. One day, a young student stood up and began to stammer a creative excuse about why his homework was not completed on time. Rahul smiled gently, seeing his own reflection in the boy's eyes, remembering the rainy days and the lies he used to tell. He sat down and shared the wisdom that had saved his life, passing on the torch that Master G had lit years ago. He taught them that while excuses build a prison of regret, hard work builds a fortress of dreams that can withstand any storm. Rahul often visited Master G, who was now very frail, and thanked him for the tough love that had rewritten his destiny. The old master would nod, knowing that his legacy was safe and that the chain of procrastination had finally been broken for good. The classroom was filled with the sound of scratching pens and turning pages, the beautiful symphony of effort and progress. Outside, the rain fell softly, nourishing the earth, just as honest work nourishes the soul and prepares it for a fruitful harvest. We all have a choice every single morning. We can embrace the comfort of excuses, or we can embrace the challenge of action. Success is not a magic trick reserved for the lucky few. It is simply the result of showing up when you want to hide. The village of Devpur prospered, not because of luck, but because a generation of children learned the value of doing things today. Time is the only resource we can never get back. Spending it on excuses is like throwing gold coins into a deep ocean. Rahul wrote a new motto on the blackboard for all to see. Tomorrow is a myth. Your future is built in this moment. The children understood that waiting for the perfect condition is a trap. The perfect condition is simply the will to start now. As Rahul walked home each evening, he felt the deep, quiet satisfaction that only comes from knowing you have not cheated yourself. He had escaped the fate of Master G's father. He would not die with a heart full of what-ifs and if-onlys. The stars shine on those who dare to dream, but they shine brightest on those who wake up and work for those dreams. Even as an adult, the temptation to rest remains, but the discipline he built as a boy acts as his constant shield. Like a great tree, success requires deep roots of discipline to support the heavy branches of achievement and the fruits of victory. Whatever you are putting off, whatever reason you have invented to delay your greatness, recognize it for what it is: a lie. Pull out the nails of excuses before they seal your destiny. Tear down the house of failure and build a palace of purpose. Let the story of Rahul remind you that it is never too late to change, to start, and to surprise the world. The future belongs to the doers, the workers, and the believers who understand that the only right time to act is right now. Master G's spirit lives on in every student who chooses homework over play, and in every person who chooses effort over ease. As the sun sets on another day, ask yourself, did I build my dreams today, or did I just make more excuses? Your potential is limitless, but it is trapped behind the walls you build. Break them down, step out, and claim your life. Every moment is a fresh page. You have the pen in your hand. Do not let fear or laziness write your story. Be the master of your fate, just as Rahul became the master of his. The journey of 1,000 miles begins today. Thank you for watching Simple Life Fables. Remember to subscribe for more stories that touch the heart and awaken the sleeping soul.